Well, I get ideas in my head sometimes, and I can't rest until I get it in fabric. And I was reading something Mother Teresa said about contemplation, and she said, and I paraphrase, contemplation to her is seeing God work in by what people do. And I started to think about over the years these crises we've had. 9/11, of course, stands foremost out in my mind. But the tragedies, the acts of nature, and how every single time Americans go running to help, and they don't think twice, or they don't seem to think twice about the dangers and perils they're heading for. They just want to help and do what they can. For me, that's seeing God at work. So I made the cross with God is the center, and I tried to pick the events that stand out most in my mind over the last 15 years or so. And I have represented 9/11, the Aurora tragedy, hurricanes, this is Sandy Hook, and tornado, Boston Marathon, and the tsunami. And this Virginia Tech, but of course our schools, we're all worried about our schools in recent years, the dangers. And so they're kind of, those blacks are representative of schools and how we need to take special care. But and then I have the angels watching over. And then I put around the border the people I see run to help, such as teachers and doctors and everyday citizens, of course soldiers, EMTs and firefighters, and that's how the quilt came about.
Now, how were you emotionally when making this? Because this is obviously based on a lot of tragic events in American history.
Everything, all my emotions go into it. I'm in the quilt, my quilt guilds and circle of quilt friends. I'm known as the person who makes a lot of memorial quilts. I do one for McLean's at Simsbury every year to remember people who died, and I do a lot of these quilts, and I am very sensitive, very emotional, and I do cry and pray quite a bit when I'm doing them, but yet I feel I have to, and I can't explain it. I can't stop working until it's done, until it's out. It's something that's in my soul and my heart. I don't live all that far from Sandy Hook, so I know people. In fact, I know the first selectman there, and of course that touched all of us deeply. We're all suffering still from that. And I've known soldiers, and I often question why do you go put yourself in danger and do this with somebody? I can't go fight a war, and I hope that if I was ever faced with something and I was close by, that I would run and help too. But this is what I do. In fact, Mother Teresa used to say, her quote was, I do what I do because I can. You go do what you can do. And this is what I can do. And that's kind of my reason for everything I do. If I can do it, I'll go do it.